everybody, Allie here with your Inspire Me Monday video. Today we're going to talk a little bit about a new product that has come into the Power Poppy store, and those are coordinating dies. We have 4 coordinating dies for 4 of our recently released stamp sets, which include Succulent Singles, Peony Muse, Natural Beauties, and lastly, our Loving Tulips. 95% of our dies are open, just as this one is here, and it makes for really easy stamping and cutting out your images. Now, we do have a few that are closed, so I do suggest for these particular ones here that you actually die cut first and then stamp on your die cut. Makes it a lot easier for you to align everything up. Okay, if you've never used dies before, what you're going to do is you need a pair of metal snips. Because your dies are going to come to you, for the most part, connected. So I just use some wire cutters. You can use jewelry snips. They have a little bit of a finer tip to get into those little areas very, very quickly and easily. And I tend to snip as close as I can to the outside of that die. And of course, you're going to have stray pieces on the inside, such as this burr, and you can just go in and take that off. Now, be very careful. You're going to have pieces that come off. So it's better to do it into some damp paper towel. They just tend to hold those little pieces in as you cut them. And you can trim those all out, and then you can either put them back in your sleeve, which is a great way to store them. You could put them on a magnetic surface, or you could also put them in the back of your packaging with your coordinating stamps, so you have them all together, all in the same package. So let's go on with our project today. We're going to be using both stamps and dies. So today we're going to use our Succulent Singles stamp set, and we're going to use the Misty because it's just my favorite tool, and I have a habit of not stamping very well some days. So it's my tool of choice here. So we're just going to use a variety of our beautiful succulent images here. I'm just going to place them all around my card front. We're just gonna play, and I probably will use a few things over again, such as some of the greenery images. So we'll fill up as much of one section of our card to begin with, and then we'll fill in some of the gaps and spaces with some of our smaller stamps. There we go. Some of our fun greenery pieces. Okay, I'm going to close the lid of our Misty and pick up all of those stamps. I'm just going to put on one more magnet here. Open our corner that doesn't have any stamps on it. Double check that we got room. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to use my Verso Fine Onyx Black ink today, and I've got a 5.5 by 4 1/4 piece of Catherine Pooler smooth white cardstock in the Misty, all ready to go. Giving it a pretty generous inking on all of our images. We're going to give it a good press, make some good contact with our paper. And see, like I said, I don't always stamp perfectly. So we're just going to ink up that area a bit better. Close up our Misty again and give that area another quick press. There we go, much better. So I'm going to go and fill in our gaps and rearrange our stamps, and I'll be back with the final panel for you in 1 second. So the next step in our card process, now that we have completed our card front with all of our gorgeous succulent images, we are going to then create some masks. And this is where the beauty of our coordinating dies comes into play. So I've used some Inkadoo stamping mask paper. And what this is that it has a paper side on one side, which is the white in this case, and it has blue backer paper. So it's actually sticky on the opposing side. So you stamp your image or cut out your mask shape or whatever, and this then peels off the back, and you've got a non-permanent almost sticker to put over top your image. So I've used this and our coordinating masks, and I've created a number of solid shaped. I haven't stamped on them. You can definitely do that, but for this particular tutorial, I don't need a stamped image on top. We have a variety of different sizes because we used a variety of different sizes of images on our card. So I've gone ahead and die cut those all out. You get some fun things. You could make a really cool card even just out of this piece. It's still got the backing paper on it, so just apply it to your card and maybe ink over that and then stamp in the images. Would be really cool background. So you could save these. Absolutely. There's another card in it for sure. But today we're just going to use our shapes. So this is where, like I said, you don't need to have a stamped image on the outside of our mask, and that's okay, but you could definitely save these. I actually attach my masks to the back of my stamp sets quite often, so I can reuse them and over again until they're no longer usable, and I just make new ones. So the beauty of this is, now the only thing with not stamping is you have to make sure your orientation is correct. So you might have to rotate things until you find the proper position for your image, and there it is. So remembering that our masks are slightly larger than our stamped image, because when they do cut out your image, you have a slight white outer edge. So there we go. We have a perfect mask, and you can kind of see the stamped image through it, which is even better. It helps you to know you got things in the right spot. So now I'm just going to apply all my masks over top of all of my stamped images, and we'll go on with the next step and have some inky fun. I'll be right back with you. So I've got all of the masks on top of our stamped images, and I've pressed them down and made sure that all the little teeny tiny edges are firmly adhered to that cardstock because we don't want them to peel up. So next, I'm going to take a variety of inks and we're going to blend it in between all of those images. So what you're going to get is you're going to get a colored background and then with white stamped images. So it's going to make them kind of pop. So we're going to have fun with some dye inks here by Catherine Pooler. I've just picked a variety of inks that I thought might go together. Some kind of soft pastel colors. I'm not sure if I'm going to use them all, but we're going to do Bellini, which is kind of a peachy color. It's a Girl, which is a light pink. Mint to Be, that's kind of self-explanatory. We've got Garden Party, which is kind of a pretty light green. And lastly, we've got Sweet 16, which is kind of a light lavender color. And we've got all of our stuff ready to go. So I'm going to use some ink blending tools for this, and we're just going to have some fun. So really light touch because I don't want a lot of ink. I want it to be soft and subtle. I'm actually going to start off of our cardstock here and just work my way in to those voids in between our masks. And of course you can use as many or as few colors as you want. You could just have one color in your background. Maybe you want a blue or a light purple. It's whatever kind of your heart Desire. So we're going to use our It's a Girl, our light pink. And of course I can come back and deepen the tones just by adding more ink on top, which I will probably do. So I'm just going to work my way through the colors and inking up those backgrounds. Put on a little bit of music. You can watch me finish up the background and I'll be back with you in a moment. And now the magic begins. You get to peel off those masks and reveal the fun result. And there you have it, some cool background. Now, you could go in with some coloring mediums and color these in and use all the tones that you used in your background to pull it all together. But you know what? This is fun. I like it just like this. It's dramatic and very cool. And it really didn't take all that long because of the beauty of our dies and our masks. Because basically all you're doing is inking and ink blending. So yeah, I'll make up a final card and I hope you'll give this a try. Really super easy, and have some fun with your dies, stamps, and some ink. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope you'll stick around and give this a try. Thanks for joining me.